This week we have a really important reading job, and that's because it's almost the end of the school year. So we're going to take everything we've learned about what good readers do, we're going to put it together, kind of like how we put together a puzzle piece. And when we put all of those things together, wow, don't you think our learning would grow and change? Well, that's exactly what our job is today. So say it after me. Ready? I can grow and change my thinking. Yeah, and when we grow and change our thinking, we better understand the text. So give yourselves a hula hula, hula hula, hula hula. That is called synthesizing. Wow, that's a big word. How about you say synthesize? Ready? Synthesize. Syllable chin drop. Synthesize. Clap it out. Synthesize. 3 syllables. So we're going to go through this story. It's called Fly Away Home. And we're going to be synthesizing our thinking. It means that we take what we already have in our brain and it grows and changes to help us better understand by the end of the story. So Fly Away Home is written by Eve Bunting, and it's a great story to help us synthesize. Fly Away Home. So I know that good readers sit up so straight and tall. Put your hands in your lap, in your lap. Yeah, and good readers read the story and read the pictures. So I'm looking at this story and I'm going to let it send messages up my arm to my brain to tell me what this story is going to be about. I think these 2 characters are going on a trip because I see an airplane in the background. And I think that their trip is taking them somewhere that they're not happy to go because I can see in their facial expression they don't look very happy. Fly Away Home. My dad and I live in an airport. That's because we don't have a home and the airport is better than the streets. We are careful not to get caught. Well, wow, I am already synthesizing my thinking because at first I thought this story was about a trip. But now I'm thinking we're going to get to learn about what it feels like to not have a home or a house and how it feels to have your home in the airport. Mr. Slocum and Mr. Vale were caught last night. 10 green bottles hanging on the wall. They sang. They were as loud as 2 moose bellowing. Dad says they broke the first rule of living in the airport. Don't get noticed. Dad and I try not to get noticed. We stay among the crowds. We change airlines. Delta, TWA, Northwest, we love 'em all, Dad says. He and I wear blue jeans and blue t-shirts and blue jackets. We each have a blue zippered bag with a change of blue clothes. Not to be noticed is to look like nobody at all. They really spend their time blending into the crowd. Once we saw a woman pushing a metal cart full of stuff. She wore a long, dirty coat and she lay down across a row of seats in front of Continental Gate 6. The cart, the dirty coat, the lying down were all too noticeable. Security moved her out real fast. Dad and I sleep sitting up. We use different airport areas. Where are we tonight? I ask. Dad checks his notebook. Alaska Air, he says, over in the other terminal. That's okay. We like to walk. So if you haven't been to an airport before, it's set up in different terminals, which kind of just means like different hallways at school, but they can be really far away. We know some of the airport regulars by name and by sight. There's Idaho Joe and Annie Franny and Mars Man, but we don't sit together. Sitting together will get you noticed faster than anything, Dad says. Everything in the airport is on the move. Passengers, pilots, those are the people who fly the plane, Flight attendants, those are like servers. They're in the airplane and they get to serve you snacks or drinks and sometimes dinner if you're there for a really long time on the plane. Cleaners with their brooms, jets roar in close to the window. So another thing about the airport is a lot of the windows are clear and you can see the planes coming in and out. Other jets roar out, luggage bounces down chutes, escalators glide up and down, disappearing under floors. Everyone's going somewhere except Dad and me. We stay. And so airplanes can leave, arrive, or depart. And a lot of times, if your luggage is too big, you check it and then it goes underneath the airplane. Once a little brown bird got into the main terminal and couldn't get out. It fluttered in the high, hollow spaces. It threw itself at the glass, fell panting on the floor, flew to the tall metal girder, and perched there, exhausted. Don't stop trying, I told it silently. Don't. You can get out. For days the bird flew around, dragging one wing, and then it found the instant where a sliding door was open and slipped through. I watched it rise. Its wings seemed okay. Fly, bird, I whispered. Fly away home. Though I couldn't hear it, I knew it was singing. Nothing made me as happy as that bird. Well, this page must be an important page because the title was in the words. The airport's busy and noisy, even at night. Dad and I sleep anyway. When it gets quiet between 2 and 4 a.m., we wake up. Dead time, Dad says. Almost no flights coming in or going out. At dead time, there aren't many people around, so we're extra careful. In the mornings, Dad and I wash up in one of the bathrooms and he shaves. The bathrooms are crowded no matter how early, and that's the way we like it. Strangers talk to strangers. Where'd you get in from? 3 hours our flight was delayed. Man, am I bushed. Dad and I, we don't talk to anyone. I'm thinking that they don't talk to anyone. At first I thought it's because they didn't make any friends, but now my thinking's changing. I think they don't talk to anyone to try and be safe. I think they might feel scared or frightened. We buy donuts and milk for breakfast at one of the cafeterias, standing in line with our red trays. Sometimes Dad gets me a carton of juice. On the weekends, Dad takes the bus to work. He's a janitor in an office in the city. The bus fares $1 each way. So at first I was thinking maybe the dad and the little boy didn't have to go anywhere. But now I'm learning that the dad works on the weekends. He just hasn't made enough money to buy a house. On those days, Mrs. Medina looks out for me. The Medinas live in the airport too. Grandma, Mrs. Medina, and Denny, who's my friend. He and I collect rented luggage carts that people have left outside and return them for 50 cents each. If the crowds are big and safe, we offer to carry bags. Get this one for you, lady. It looks heavy. Or, can I call you a cab? Denny's real good at calling cabs. That's because he's 7 already. Sometimes passengers don't tip. Then Denny whispers, stingy. But he doesn't whisper too loud. The Medinas understand that it's dangerous to get noticed. When Dad comes home from work, he buys hamburgers for us and the Medinas. That's to pay them for watching out for me. If Denny and I've had a good day, we treat for pie, but I've stopped doing that. I save my money in my shoe. Will we ever have our own apartment again? I asked Dad. I'd like it to be the way it was before Mom died. Maybe we will, he says, if I can find more work, if we can save some money. He rubs my head. It's nice right here, though, isn't it, Andrew? It's warm, it's safe, and the price is right. Well, this is very different than I thought it was going to be, because at the beginning, I thought it was going to be about 2 characters taking a trip. But now my thinking's grown and changed. I've learned that before this story, the character's mom had died. And then when they ended up not having a house, they moved to the airport, and the character's dad is going to work, and they've kind of created a community here at the airport. So my thinking has definitely changed since I've read this story. But I know he's trying all the time to find us a place. He takes newspapers from the baskets and makes pencil circles around letters and numbers. Then he goes to the phones. When he comes back, he looks sad and angry. I know he's been calling about apartments. I know the rents are too high for us. I'm saving money too, I tell him, and I lift one foot and point to my shoe. Dad smiles. Attaboy. If we get a place, you and your dad can come live with us, Denny says. And if we get a place, you and your mom and your grandma can live with us, I say. Yeah. We shake on it. That's going to be so great. After next summer, Dad says, I have to start school. How? I ask. I don't know, but it's important and we'll work it out. Denny's mom says he can wait for a while. But Dad says, I can't wait. Wondering why school is so important to the dad. Sometimes I watch people meeting people. We missed you. It's so good to be home. Sometimes I get mad. I want to run at them and push them and shout, why do you have homes when we don't? What makes you so special? But that would get us noticed. Sometimes I just want to cry. I think Dad and I will be here forever. So remember at the beginning when I thought that we were just going to learn about what it's like to live in the airport? I think this story also has taught us about the different emotions it feels to not have a house or to not have just a place to call home. He's frustrated, heartbroken, and it feels unfair to him. Then I remember the bird. It took a while, but a door opened, and when the bird left, when it flew free, I know it was singing. And so now I'm thinking that even though this boy is so frustrated with not having a place to call home, he's hopeful because if the bird was able to get out of the airport and go back to its home, maybe this little boy thinks that he can get out of the airport and find a home too. And so when I use my brain and my background knowledge and I continue synthesizing my thinking, it grows and changes to help me better understand Fly Away Home.